Welcome back to Central Valley Talk, where we talk about things going on in the Central Valley that are cool and good for us and healthy for us and things like that. There's things going on out there that you may not even know about. And one thing that's been happening, I've heard about it for years and years, but it has to do with raw milk. And we have here the founder, I guess, the head guy over at Raw Farm USA, Mark McAfee. McAfee. Now, your website says since 1998, I think.
That's right.
But I remember your dad being in the dairy business in the 60s.
Yeah, we've been around for a long time, but the raw farm production of raw milk started in 1998, 1999.
So when your dad had it in the 60s and your family was in the business, that wasn't raw milk.
That was selling to the local Danish creamery,
Yeah.
I think, back in the 60s.
That's what almost every dairy farmer here does.
And the dairy farms were 100 cows,
Yeah.
200 cows maybe. Now they're 2,000 to 5,000 cows and
Yeah.
really having a tough time.
Yeah, that would be tough. Now, most milk, you see the cows, the dairies, they take their milk and they pool it, and make some cottage cheese or some cheese or milk in the cartons in the store. But you do something totally different.
Well, the conventional dairies, all the milk goes into a big common silo, big
Right.
tank at a creamery. So all the milk is commingled together and make all those products.
Right.
We never commingle our milk between our operation and any other operation. It comes from our dairy. All the milk is tested for pathogens and standards, and then it's sent to our own creamery. We make butter, cream, cheese, milk, and kefir, which I brought here today. But we don't pasteurize it. We don't heat it.
Right.
And as a result, I think your heading said something about bioactives.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is the big secret. It's something that the FDA, CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, and most everybody that's really feeling uncomfortable with this emerging raw milk, it says, oh, there's no difference between pasteurized milk and raw milk. The protein levels are the same. The sugar levels are the same. All these elements in them are the same. Well, it's partially true. If you weigh the protein, yeah, it's the same amount of weight of protein in raw milk as it is protein in pasteurized milk. However, the bioactives accompanying the proteins are done. They're destroyed.
That's what pasteurization does.
That's right.
Kills everything, good, bad, and otherwise.
It inactivates the enzymes. It gets rid of all the bioactives, like the raw whey protein is destroyed. And raw whey protein is really, really good for inflammation in your body. The alkaline phosphatase is destroyed. The lactoferrin, lactoperoxidase, all these things that are bioactive are destroyed. So what they're saying is really false when it comes to the differences between raw milk and pasteurized milk, because the bioactives are what brings the health value.
Right.
It builds the immune system. And post-COVID, everybody's wanting to build their gut microbiome and their immune systems, and that's why our sales have gone crazy in the last 3 years, and people are really enjoying it and having fewer ear infections, asthma's less, allergies are less, fewer colds, virus load. Even if you get hit with virus, you don't get sick because there's antiviral bioactives in raw milk.
It's
destroyed in
natural.
all totally natural.
It's not something you're injecting in the cows or something. This is just normal. That's how milk comes out.
Human mammalian raw milk has it too.
Yeah.
Breast milk has it too. And that's why it's such a powerful thing for children to have breastfeeding. But I tell you what, raw milk, goat's milk, camel's milk, reindeer milk, donkey milk, horse milk, for 10,000 years, mankind's thrived on it.
Right.
So we brought back that history of thriving on raw milk and made it really safe, and it's going really, really well.
Yeah. Now, when we grew up, the neighbors didn't have a cow.
Yeah.
The other neighbor had a cow. My wife, they had a cow. They had to go out. Her dad had 5 daughters, and they took turns milking by hand. That's raw milk?
That's raw milk, straight
What's
to
the
the cow.
difference between that and yours?
Well, we milk with a machine, and we milk the cows very cleanly. The udder is incredibly clean, and that milk goes down a very clean pathway of stainless steel and rubber to a chiller. And within 2 minutes, that milk goes from 99 degrees, the body temperature of the cow, down to about 36 degrees in 2 minutes. So it's rapidly chilled. So the good bacteria, the yogurt-like bacteria that's found in the milk, all the bioactives, stay stable.
It's preserved.
It's preserved.
Right.
It keeps them growing. It doesn't become kefir like yogurt.
Yeah.
If you keep it warm, it starts to ferment by itself. But it stabilizes it and gives it about a 21-day shelf life. So that's what we would do a little differently than a smaller operation.
But I mean, the guy that milks their own cow, the difference is you instant chill it. Because
we instant chill it, and we also test each batch to make sure there's no pathogenic bacteria
when we drink
present.
the neighbor's cow, it's warm. Comes
Yeah.
out warm, doesn't it? Yeah.
And you would need to drink that in probably 4 to 6 hours, because after about 10 to 12 hours, it starts to trend and become kefir, which is a naturally fermented yogurt.
So the difference between pasteurization, I don't even know who came up with pasteurization or why.
In 1893,
Louis Pasteur, no doubt.
No, Albert Strauss.
Sprouts.
Albert Strauss brought in the parboiler from France because America in the big cities had a milk problem. And it was filthy milk, typhoid fever, diphtheria, every form of bad bacteria you can imagine because the milk wasn't chilled, unclean sanitation, dirty water by hand. It was filthy. And the cows were not pastured in the sunshine. The water was filthy. So there was a big problem in some dairies. Now, another guy by the name of Dr. Henry Coit actually established certified raw milk, which is the American Association of Medical Milk Commissions in 1893, about the same time. And so the last dairy to produce that kind of milk was Altadena in Los Angeles in May of 1999. We picked up after that, which is interesting in our founding because people were wanting their raw milk.
Yeah.
And it's a different standard. It's clean raw milk, not milk commingled together between a bunch of different dairies.
I guess in the old days, 1800s, but they didn't wash the cows like you guys do now.
We do.
Those cows are clean. They didn't wash their hands even. So pasteurization cooked out all the bad stuff that they were probably introducing, not from the cows.
It was the conditions in which the cows were producing. It was also the health of the cows. And, you know, to quote Dr. Bruce German, pasteurization is an 18th century solution to an 18th century problem.
Okay.
We can do a whole lot better, and that's what we do.
And you do. Why raw milk? Why is it good for us? That's all I hear. It's good for you.
It's the bioactives. And there's a huge number of PubMed studies done in Europe, like over 60 of them, over the last 20 years, that shows that children that drink raw milk have a much decreased level of asthma. Eczema is eliminated within weeks. Ear infections are reduced. Inflammation is reduced. Overall body condition is improved because the metabolic, the ability to assimilate bioactive things are better than just dead things.
I'm just getting it because you keep telling me bioactives. It's healthy for you because of the bioactives. Pasteurized milk, the bioactives are killed. That's what
They're
it does.
inactivated. They're done. They're gone.
Even though the weight of them is still there.
The weight's there, yeah. But we're not talking about the weight. We're talking about the bioactivity of these special proteins, functional proteins that are put there by God himself. I mean, this is how you keep children healthy, is to breastfeed and give them that bioactives early at birth. And that's what builds the immune system. So remember, 80% of the immune system is your gut microbiome. And I tell you what, if you don't want to get sick from the 1.35 million cases of salmonella every year and the 1.5 million cases of Campylobacter from all kinds of sources, you want to have a strong immune system.
Right. We need a strong immune system right now, anyway.
More than ever.
Now, I go get my cheese across the street here at the market. Yellow, it's cheddar cheese, and I get a block. It's $6, kind of expensive. Sometimes after a week or so, it's growing mold.
Well, that's been pasteurized.
Right.
The cheeses we produce are raw and aged 60 days. But the bioactives found in the raw milk, they're all found in the raw cheese because we never heat the cheese.
Okay.
So you have a lot of really cool bioactivity issues going on, or things still alive in the cheese.
So I might not have that mold problem.
Well, the mold is actually inhibited by the bioactivity.
Okay.
So you see a lot of cheeses have actually specialized molds put on them. But if it's not intended to be there, you actually find very little mold ever found in our cheese because it's inhibited by the bioactives.
All right, ready for the complaints? I get 2 complaints. One is, and this isn't the milk, by the way, this is the kefir. One is the milk's a little more expensive, and the other is people don't know where to find it.
Well, you can go to Raw Farm USA, and we have a finder. All the Sprouts stores in California here in
they do
Fresno.
have it, yeah.
Sprouts has got, it's the top seller in Sprouts. It ain't cheap, but I'll tell you what, in 1969, the Ford truck cost about $3,900, and the milk was about 60, 70 cents a gallon to the farmer. Today, the milk is still less than $2, which is only 2.5 times more, but that truck is 50, 70,000.
Yeah.
So you can see that the value of milk has dropped substantially, and unfortunately, pasteurized milk is not selling very well because it's so allergenic. It triggers the release of histamines from mast cells, where raw milk actually stabilizes mast cells and keeps histamines from being released. So go to Raw Farm USA, and you can see where you can find our products, and join us on Instagram and X and all the places, because we've got a heck of a lot of social platforms to follow us.
So if it is a little more expensive, it's because you're getting a lot more in it.
Oh, you're getting a tremendous, and we invested $800,000 a year on testing to make sure your products are safe.
So you milk out here somewhere west of by Kerman, and it's chilled within a minute or two.
Right.
And does it ever get warm?
Nope. Until it gets in your belly.
All the way to that store.
All the way to the store. It's kept cold in our own trucks and delivered to the store. And we only keep it on the shelf for about 5 to 7 days. And we take it back if it doesn't sell. So we guarantee the sale. So you're always guaranteed to have a very good quality product at all times.
That's expensive, those cool trucks, to keep them cool
It
in the
ain't
truck.
cheap.
Huh?
Today's going to be 111 degrees. Yeah, Thermo King does okay with us.
Wow, that's great. Well, I'm going to go to, it's right on the screen, rawfarmsusa.com. And you tell me every time you're on the show where I can get it. And then I go and that store's closed. So Sprouts is the one.
Sprouts is the biggest distributor we have, but you have Nugget Market, Lassen's Market, Erewhon. You got lots of different stores in California. And we got 200 stores in LA alone. But they're spread throughout the entire state, including the Central Coast and the Northern California areas.
Lassen Market out here by
in Bakersfield.
Oh, in Bakersfield. Okay.
Bakersfield, yep.
All right.
Lassen's got, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go somewhere closer to the Tower District in Fresno. I'm going to drink it. And now, this kefir, you bring it to me every time. I said,
That's
why
yours,
is he bringing
man.
me?
That's
why
yours.
is he bringing this? It doesn't even taste that good. After a couple days, it tastes very normal to me. It's just if you've never tasted it before, it's got a little bit funny
It's
taste.
a little sour.
Yeah.
To those that like that flavor, they crave it. But this has got a little bit of a hint of a lemon extract, lemon essence to it. No sugar added.
But I tell you, I put it in my smoothies. Why is that good? Why is kefir
Well, a
good?
smoothie is a fantastic thing because you're putting all the good stuff in there and blending it all together. Raw milk and raw milk kefir are fantastic bases for the smoothie. You start out with putting a couple cups in that, and then you can do whatever you want. You can put whatever you want in there on top of that. Leafy greens, strawberries, berries, raw egg, avocados really make a nice thickener to it. A little bit of raw honey. You've got a really, really, really good food for the gut.
Okay.
And I tell you what, it satisfies you, makes you feel full, gives you energy, knocks out your appetite. It's good stuff. It's great for your immune system.
I've been always trying to get a new source of protein.
Yeah.
And this will do it, no doubt.
Good raw animal fats too.
Nice.
Yeah, 60% of all the bioactives found in raw milk are carried on the butterfat globule. So fat's where it's at.
This is chemistry. This is science.
Yes.
What you do.
And I attend the International Milk Genomics Consortium every year, and I'm the only farmer in the room packed with 120 PhDs.
Wow.
You learn a lot, and it's pretty powerful stuff.
Anything else you want our viewers to know, Mark?
We are focused on customers and food safety. Those are two things.
Customers, food safety.
We ignore the FDA and all the crazy stuff going on. We just focus on customers and food safety. That's it.
And if you weren't sick, they'd come after you.
100%. They
Yeah.
try all the time, but they're not very successful because we are very successful at what we do.
My wife has those valley allergies.
Yeah.
I need to get her on this, huh?
She would do very well. My wife used to have horrendous allergies with raw milk. It's limited. It's really under control. Remember, the histamines come from the mast cells, and when they're destabilized, they run through your bodies and cause them. This stabilizes mast cells. The raw whey protein, one of the bioactives, again, the bioactives is so important, stabilize mast cells and keep your histamines in check. Inflammation.
Thank you, Mark McAfee. May have been on our show more times than any other guest. He comes again and again. And
We love
puts up
Mike. We
with
love
our
Mike.
tough questions. We really appreciate that, Mark. We'll be back with more Central Valley Talk right after this.